Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to the Slowest Blitz, where we are playing Asphodel. This is turn 35, I believe. So let's jump into it. We've got a whole lot of battles. We've got stuff to discuss. We've got tangents to go on, I'm sure. Let's just dive into things. It is 333 gold from Vanarus. So we've been continuously getting gold from Vanarus. I believe the majority of this is actually from the province trading that we did with them. Namely, the Throne of Fire that they just claimed. It would have been real nice for us to have, but at the end of the day, we absolutely were not strong enough to fight Vanarus on top of what we're already doing, so this was a best case scenario for us. So, speaking of fighting, we got a whole bunch of fights. We have been attacked all over the place. We are attacking back in a couple of places. Let's see how things go for us. Do we get any nice wins? We got some mantises coming at us. They're up against nothing. They're going to win. No losses on the mantises. We get attacked in Icton. Ooh, we got a whole big firing line here, and a little bit of chaff up in... Not really chaff. These guys are pretty thick. Protection 16, defense skill 15. Honestly, I think pound for pound, the Landless Knights are pretty damn good. Like, they're pretty tanky for what they cost, what you're getting out of the whole situation. They feel pretty nice. Pretty low magic resistance overall, but other than that, pretty damn good all around. I think this is a very well-performing unit that is obviously very overshadowed by the Knights of Avalon. But they're up against some satyrs, and that's it. So there's no way our satyrs are going to do anything in this regard. So, yep. Lose some satyrs. That's it. Easy peasy. We get attacked in Pugria. Ooh, and we've got a whole bunch of Knights of Avalon here. A couple monks on either side, some wolves as chaff, 2 archers, I'm assuming bodyguarding this Mother of Avalon. And we've got, actually this is unfortunate, so we've got a stack of Jade Maidens here. And this just means that they're dead, right? Like, the Jade Maidens are going to get blessed up. They do have our bless, so they do have very high defense skill. But they are outnumbered by the Knights of Avalon, and they can't kill the Knights of Avalon. Even if they could survive, and can survive against the Knights for a while, they can't kill the Knights. So there's just nothing that they're going to be able to do. Unfortunately. So, Knights snag us. Yeah, we kill 7 wolves and then lose 17 Jade Maidens, 2 Centaur Hierophants. Not a great trade. Unfortunate. We are attacked in Banded Hills. Ooh, and we got a big firing squad. Really big firing squad here. We do have some actual chaff, Logrian warriors, out in front. A few Landless Knights on the side. And actually a couple of Knights of Avalon here to probably deal with anything thick. But there's just PD here, so nothing gonna come of that. And we are attacked in Asphodel. We were supposed to be doing the attacking in Asphodel this turn. Of course, of course. Okay, so we are come at by some wolves and a Mother of Avalon with 4 gems. I'm not gonna go on a tangent here. There are plenty of people that have gone on tangents before. People that are more skilled at the game, that have a better understanding of all of the rules and the mechanics and blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to repeat things that they said or delve into discussions that have been had on it. I will just say gem baiting is a portion of the game that I am not a big fan of. I'm not going to say that it shouldn't exist. I'm not going to knock it like that or anything like that. It's a mechanic. It's part of the game. It is what it is. I understand I understand the effectiveness of it and the reasoning behind it. It makes perfect sense. It's just a pain in the ass to deal with, and it's because it is a high skill threshold game, the best players are always going to find out that way to kind of like min-max past a strategy. Gym baiting, the mechanics for gym baiting have been tweaked multiple times over the time that I've been a part of the community, which was towards the beginning of Dominions 5, right? Or since I've been playing the game, which is towards the beginning of Dominions 5. So, I understand that it is one of those things that is just rough to balance, and it's something that's wanted in the game, but it's just a pain in the ass that something like this, with a pair of boots and 4 gems, is going to gem bait this. And that is what it is. Now, is that going to matter? We'll find out, right? Like, because whether you can gem bait something or not is irrelevant if it doesn't matter. The question is did we make it not matter? We had a little precursor to the answer to that in the last video, if anyone caught it. So we killed 33 wolves. In this replay, we did kill the Mother of Avalon. In reality, we did not kill the Mother of Avalon. She did her cast and then fucking bounced. So there's that. We lost a little bit of chaff. Nothing worth mention, honestly. But what was lost was the gems utilized in that bait. Okay? We also get attacked in Bycliff. Just a few landless knights led by a little monk here. And there are actually some Jade Maidens here. So these guys are already a little fucked up, as you can see, right? They are a little wounded. They are... I say a little wounded. Yeah, they're missing HP from experience points, I suppose. Which is not bad. So, we're going to see how these perform. This is a smallish stack versus a slightly bigger stack. Should go relatively well. The Landless Knights should have a very rough time actually hitting the Jade Maidens. The Jade Maidens, unfortunately, just aren't very killy. Ow, Dotus. The Light Lance, you know, you get a charge bonus for the first strike, and that's it. But even with the charge bonus, it's not going to hit very hard. Afterwards, it doesn't hit very hard. The bite doesn't hit very hard, right? Like, the Bless that we have makes them very difficult to kill, just in, like, melee combat. But, it works better on Black Centaurs because Black Centaurs are already a little killy, and they get a little killier with their berserking, which the Jade Maidens do not benefit from. So they kind of get stuck in melee, and then they're just like, oh, well, can't, just gonna keep swinging. So, we do win in Bycliff. We kill 16 Landless Knights. We lose 1 Jade Maiden, some mannequins. That's nice, right? Like, 16 Landless Knights isn't a no amount of gold, but it doesn't recoup our losses in Pugria, right? So, definitely still on the side of man in this particular run. So, now we have a couple of our pokes. We attacked into Iron Peaks, and you can see we've got a little form of Centaur Warriors and... the centaurs with longbows, and we've got our werewolf here. This, honestly, is one, we shouldn't be using the werewolf like this. We should be spawning wolves for chaff. 2, these are mostly, not, I don't want to say throwaway units, but this is a decision made of, hey, if we lose these, this is fine, because we're trying to tighten our belt in regards to our income, our upkeep versus our income. So this is a throw out there. We should have done it with something other than the werewolf, but the idea of just throwing these out there and seeing what we see is fine. What we see is not much, honestly, like a little bit of PD, and we've got 2 mages that are actually just gonna bounce. But can we actually win against this? That is the question. Those longbows really aren't doing all that much. And unfortunately, the werewolf really isn't getting into things. And now we're in a shooting match. Hey! Looks like we maybe won the shooting match. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, sweet. Iron Peaks didn't go that way. it did not go that way. So that does show kind of like how close that kind of situation could have been, right? With that replay, it could have gone our way. It didn't. We did not win that one. Is what it is. Not super, guffed about losing that, but could have been a win. We attack into Trotturn, trying to fight forever against these fucking independents that keep taking place. There's just a single fucking villain here now, so moving through the bushes. Oh, he got eaten. Got eaten by boars. We take Trotturn back, easy peasy. We get attacked in Eterol. And this is a long line of knights. Oh boy. There's nothing here, but this is very important to note. 50 Knights of Avalon coming on our direction. Then we have the battle in the Fortress of Asphodel. So, last turn, right, we were like, okay, we're just going to go for the battle in Asphodel. It's an unknown how much he actually has in the city. He could have nothing in the city. He could have a shit ton in the city. We know he moved a fair amount out of the city on the turn prior, which was one of the impetus for us actually going ahead and attacking the city this turn. So, let's see what we are facing off against. We got all our stuff. We will check it a little bit more momentarily, and we can see there's a fair amount here. Not a crazy amount, but a fair amount here. It looks like he dumped some gems. So we've got some killer mantises, we've got some Fae footmen, we've got unicorns, we've got leogryphs in the back, we've got some forest trolls, some ogres, fair amount of wolves, we've got a bunch of archers, a bunch of monks, we've got some landless knights, some bards hanging out here. We, of course, have the garrison with their tower guard kind of sitting nicely in the center. And then we do actually have a surprisingly large little contingent of mages here. We have a crone, we have a bunch of mothers, we have some daughters, and we have a Frostfather. It's Kidzen! It's their god is here. Okay, ruh-roh. So, got a lot of stuff. This is going to be a lot to chew through, right? So that is a big concern. The other big concern is, what do we have left on our shit, right? So obviously we didn't lose much of anything in the whole gem baiting situation, but we did lose gems, right? Like, we didn't lose units, but we lost gems. And very specifically, let me try to find where we are at here. Nope. Aha! Look! Our fucking lucky Panic Apostate. The guy with the skull stick. The one that's supposed to cast Rigor Mortis, who cast it when we got gem baited, and now has no gems to cast it. Not because I didn't have gems to cast it, but because I forgot to move the bonus gems that I brought to have the extra gems in case I got gem baited. Like, I planned for it. I was like, oh, let's bring some extra gems in case we get gem baited. Brought the extra gems, and then didn't put them on the person that would need them for the gem baiting. Fuck. Well, that sucks. Okay, so we've got that going on. That also means, right, we blew our howl last time, which we don't have anymore either. We didn't blow all of our glamour gems. We do still have some nature gems for, I think we were doing, what was it? I think we were doing, like, Phantasmal Horror, or not Phantasmal Horror, Conjure Greater Phantasm or whatever, maybe. So, this is probably going to be a piecemeal scenario. So, we still have the plan of trying to etherealize some units so that we can get through the wall. We still have a lot of archers that will do a fair amount of damage. We still have a fair amount of magic, and we do have overwhelming numbers, but as anyone who has played this game knows, when you get into the fucking chokehold of a fortification like this, you can just get fucked. You can just sit there and get fucked. So let's watch what happens. We're going to take an overarching view. A lot of archers too, and they will do a lot of damage to our mannequins. Ow, Dotus. There's a lot of monks. We can see those monks throwing down. Now we have the majority of our units are on hold, specifically designed for the concept of we wanted to try to... Hey, we got some black centaurs through the wall already. Not very many. They are going. That will be helpful. So we have most of our people on hold in the hopes that a lot of their forces are going to come out and we don't get stuck in the choke point as much. We've got a behemoth through the wall. That's pretty nice. He dies. Oh, we've got some fire elementals coming out. That's pretty crazy. Go ahead and speed this up. This is going to be just a lot of, like, white strikes coming down. And it's just going to be a point of, can we get through? Ah! Wonderful. We've got more people through the wall. Black centaurs, carrion behemoths. That is actually probably... if we win this, that is probably the only reason we win this, is because this is taking a lot of the focus from this center point, right? And by taking a lot of that focus from the center point, we actually make ourselves more able to try to... Boy, if you don't stop tapping me with those claws! Those hurt! Those hurt! Quit it! Oh! It's getting real dicey, but we have berserkers. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no. Armies of Asphodel are routed, but we're berserking. So are we really routed? The answer to that question is not really. We do have his god just hanging out here, though. Let's see. Does this work? So interesting to see. So interesting. Mind burn. Kidzen coming on out. Far striking. And we lose. Except we don't. We actually won that. It was an extremely costly battle, but in the real version, things went significantly better for us. The guys going through the wall did a lot more work. We had, I think if I remember correctly, we had a lot more carrion behemoths get etherealed and get through the wall on the south there. I want to say we actually had a fair amount of work get put in by the phantasmal beasts that we summoned. So that actually went fairly decently for us. Now, okay, let's actually take a look at things, right? We lost 538 units to 358 units. That's not great. But a very, very large portion of them, 325, almost as many units as man lost entirely, were just straight mannequins, just regular mannequin, right? So that is not as bad as it seems. What is bad is that we did still lose 23 Minotaur Warriors. That could be worse, because at least now we're not paying for them. But we also lost 35 Black Centaurs, and that is actually quite bad. We lost a Sage, a Lizard Shaman, 2 Dryad Hags, and a Commander. So, not great, and almost entirely off the back of us being gem baited. If we'd had Rigor Mortis in that, along with Relief, right? Like, we also had a Relief cast. We didn't throw up Phao. Like, we lost all of those things. All of the things that we were intending on having for a big fight. This counts as a big fight. Even though there aren't a shit ton of Knights of Avalon here, which is what we were aiming for, this is still a big fight, right? We lost all of those things because, not because we didn't have the gems. We had the gems, just because I fucking forgot to put the gems on the right people in the right instance. So that's my own fucking fault. However, through overwhelming numbers, obviously a lot of this shit is chaff that he just summoned up, right? The wolves, the unicorns, the ogres, the leogryphs, the killer mantises, forest trolls, fae footmen, that's all chaff. But that is a lot of gems worth of chaff. Right, like, let me check. The fae footmen, for example, I think that's a fair amount of them. 6. Yeah, summon fae footmen, you get 5 plus half your level for 12 glamour gems. This is 55 fae footmen. The unicorns also, right? Like, a lot of glamour gems. This is a lot of gems. Glamour gems primarily, but leogryphs, right? Those are 12 for the 20, so another 12 nature gems there. There's a lot of gems being dropped here. We got gem baited. We lost gems. But man spent gems to try to hold the place with chaff, and it didn't work. And on top of that, there were a lot of gems being used, fire elementals, things like that, in the actual battle itself. Man lost a fair amount of stuff here, even if it wasn't all of the stuff that we would potentially have hoped he would lose in a first big battle with something like Rigor Mortis. Pretty good that we didn't fight that big battle because we didn't have the tools that we needed. Because I fucked up. But 120 longbowmen, right? That's 1,200 gold right there. That's not nothing. The Mothers of Avalon, these are 305 gold a pop. Lost 7 of them. Lost a witch, not really a super big deal, but it is a thing. Lost 27 monks. He can shit these guys out, but losing 27 of them is not insubstantial. Lost 4 Daughters of Avalon, not as big of a deal as the Mothers of Avalon, but still matters. Lost a Crone. I think this is the 3rd Crone he's lost to us. These are slow to recruit, extremely expensive. Really, the slow to recruit is the more painful issue at this point, because that's, I mean, if he's lost 3 Crones to us, that's 6 turns of cap recruitment that he has lost to us for his commanders. On turn 35, so that's not insubstantial, right? For bards, this does kind of equal out not just our losses here, but the losses overall this turn. Because this is a lot of gold, a lot of turns, a lot of mages, etc., etc., a lot of gems, etc., etc. This is a good victory, even if it came at a greater cost than what we would have gotten it for had we not fucked up and allowed ourselves to be gem baited. So silver lining there, right? The downside is, aside from losing the 35 Black Centaurs, which does hurt, aside from losing that amount of Black Centaurs, the biggest downside here isn't really the losses that we suffered from our mage line. It's that we did lose a extremely large amount of chaff. And it's chaff. It didn't really cost us much, but it does take a while to replenish that. And this goes back to the way that we have been playing. I've been doing this incorrectly. I know that after playing way more Asphodel than I had played at this point, right? We have been playing we haven't been playing for the future. We've been playing for the now. And because we've been playing for the now rather than playing for the future, it's going to take us a lot longer to recoup these 500 odd mannequins, these chaff, or this chaff, than it otherwise would. Because if we'd been playing in a different manner, we'd shit out 200 mannequins a turn right now, and this would be nothing to catch back up, right? But we haven't been doing that. So this is actually a bit of a problem. Again, going back to the concept of how do we beat 100 Knights of Avalon? Well, we beat them by having 800 mannequins, something like Rigor Mortis, etc., so that they can't kill everything that we have by the time they get fatigued out, due to the combination of harassment mannequins and Rigor Mortis, that type of situation. So losing this much in the chaff department means that we are that much further away from being able to accomplish something like that, which is a problem. But it is still a victory. It did cost man a lot. We're going to try to take the silver lining here. Unexpected event in Phaeacia, Dominion +4, and Order. That's terrible. Yay, we got Order, but getting Dominion in the Phaeacian lands, not great. Just not great. We have breached the fortification of Sylvania. We'll see what we're going to do with that. Unrest, magic, and misfortune throughout the world. And our vampires back. So, what the fuck are we actually doing this turn? This cost us a lot, but it doesn't mean that we don't still have a lot. We still have 276 units here. We still have 590 units here. The question is what is man capable of throwing at us in Sylvania, right? Because we want to try to keep this momentum going. There is a lot of threat up in the Phaeacian lands. Pugria, there's a lot of people there. That's a big fucking deal for us. We've got Vangar, Kingdom of Dara, etc., etc. We've got units down here in Icton. This is part of what was in Sitha last turn. So we have stuff in our lines, but we want to carry the momentum of what we've destroyed here. So what are we going to try to do? Well, we're going to patrol a little bit in Asphodel. So we've got two individuals, I say two individuals, we've got 3 individuals patrolling in Asphodel. We're also going to be moving and patrolling some chaff into Asphodel with the intention that most of what we see him have here is beatable by just having a bit of chaff, having some people that can actually kill, and then howling him. We're in a forest. Howl's going to be especially effective. There's not a lot in Icton that could really try to do this, but if we move everything out of Asphodel, we could get fucked, right? We've also boosted the defense back up in Asphodel, so there's that. We're going to be pinging around in territories, right? We're going to ping Icton with our vampire, pinging Sitha with some troops, etc., etc., moving more units basically all over the place. But the big deal is we're going to be moving a lot of units over. I say a lot of units, not a lot of units. We're moving individuals with a fair number of units over to Sylvania. If he wants to get frisky and he wants to be like, I think I can send enough stuff into Sylvania to pop it, let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. So We're rehowled, or we're re-reliefed, I think, is what we're actually throwing up. So we got rigor mortis relief, yeah. So if he comes at us, which I don't actually think is likely, I think after the loss in Asphodel, he's probably going to be like, okay, nope, pull back out, let's reassess what we're going to do. So I think we're going to take Sylvania without too much issue, because I don't actually think there's much in Sylvania. So we've got that going on. We'll see how that goes. Could be very wrong, and that would be really bad. Pinging in a couple of other areas, and we're bringing reinforcements from Phaeacia down towards Viclez. Again, with that whole concept of we're just trying to hold the Phaeacian territory, hold Viclez, until we can hopefully win in our northern lands, put the impetus back on man, and try to make it a defensive war from his perspective rather than from our perspective. Because if we can do that, I think we can have a good shot at this. And I think, honestly, it's man's key is to not let us do that. The more man puts us on the back foot and makes us be defensive, the more likely man is to win this, right? Other things we can see going around, we are doing a little bit of recruitment. Not a crazy amount of recruitment because of our income is not crazy high. And our upkeep is still not doing great, right? At the end of the day, I'm spending too much on things like Minotaur Warriors, but it's still that standpoint where, aside from just overwhelming chaff, that's the only thing that I think I have that can seal the deal. So, that's basically what we've got going on. And I don't know that it's going to work out. We are trying to get more mages down in Viclez so that we could actually potentially hope to fight a secondary man army. But if he comes at us, right, like this, we got a fair amount of stuff going on. This, we had a fair amount of stuff going on. If he comes at this, we're probably fucked. We've got like 4 mages here. They can't really do anything. That's why we are trying to get another Panic Apostate in here so that we can try to actually do some stuff and see how it goes. We've got research going to Alteration 6, which I believe main focus is just getting things like Wooden Warriors, Giant Warriors, right? That's a big scenario. Venomous Death is actually really, really, really good for Asphodel. Really not good facing man. I want to play Asphodel again and not fight this man. Because there's so many things that are really quite good against people that this man is just defended from, basically. Darkness also potentially be quite good for us. It's an easy thing to layer over something like Rigor Mortis, even though it is... We basically only have one caster that can really do this in fucking Lucky. But... It is turn 35, and the gods have not awoken, or broken free from their imprisonment, rather. The dormant gods have awoken. The imprisoned gods have not broken free. And surely that's going to happen anytime soon. We've got our cat back. That's good, because that would be bad if they broke free like 2 turns ago. But, you know... Maybe that will help us out with a couple of our plans, our stored up gems, etc., etc. So we'll see how it goes. That's it for this video, I think. We'll see how Sylvania works. I think we'll get it. I don't think man will challenge us for it. I don't think there's a lot inside of it, but I could be wrong. And then we'll see how things kind of actually shape up over the course of the next little bit. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.